Everyone is excited because Bitcoin made a massive move of 5% on the candle close recently because of some news that's been teased out and confirmed by Eleanor Terrett, confirmed by BlockWorks, that real Donald Trump will indeed be addressing the crowd at the BlockWorks Digital Assets Summit on Friday, March 20th. Now, she was told that this is happening at 10:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I don't think it's necessarily going to be, okay, it says down here, he was planning to live stream into the conference at some point today or tomorrow. So I don't know if this is going to be available, if they're going to be live streaming it, but I bet a lot of people are wondering what he's going to be saying. Now, there's a lot of speculation anytime Trump talks, unfortunately. And I mean, sometimes it's like, buddy, choose your words carefully, right? But because of everything that's happening recently, a lot of people are optimistic. Me? I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest. The last couple of times Trump has opened his mouth to say things and they were positive, the market reacted negatively. And it'd almost be better if he just didn't say anything and we just kind of keep going up slowly higher. But before I get into any of the other thoughts or opinions that I do have, I want to first off welcome you to the Coin Bureau Trading channel. My name is Aaron Dishner from The Better Traders, and in this video, we're going to be talking about this new announcement and all the exciting stuff that has happened in the markets recently. But if you haven't subscribed yet, do so now, because you're going to forget, because you're going to be dazzled and razzle-dazzled with tons of it. Razzle-dazzled. I obviously don't use a script or a teleprompter. That's my own decision, probably for the worst. But okay, let's keep going. Now, Bitcoin had a really good close on Wednesday, the 19th of March. It closed up about 5%, but more importantly, Bitcoin closed inside of the daily TBO Cloud. Now, this may not seem like a big feat to you, but it's been strong bearish really ever since the 25th of February. So the fact of the matter is that whether or not you believe it, Bitcoin has been extremely strong bearish for a long time, especially when it broke support here at about $95,000. Feels like light years away, doesn't it? But we had a tease of a good, this is not a fun day, the 2nd of March, which I feel like is the Ides of March, but I think March 3rd is the Ides of March, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not in high school anymore, it doesn't matter. But I remember learning that, doesn't matter. Leave it in the comment section below, some of you know. But there was a pump on a Sunday and a dump on Monday, erased all of those gains, and the price went up into the TBO Cloud. This was a great sign. But when we had really good news, exciting news coming, and then the reality of the next day, markets absolutely crashed on Monday the 3rd, literally erasing all of those gains, and Bitcoin fell even more. Now, since March 11th, we've actually seen a consistent uptrend. We had a bullish engulfing candle here on Tuesday, the 11th of March, meaning that this green candle on the daily time frame is much larger than the previous red candle, the open and the close down here. And now that the price is slowly grinded up inside of the TBO Cloud, this actually is a signal of bullish consolidation for BTC. This is a great sign because it tells me that BTC should continue to move up and up and up. Now, my short-term target for BTC is going to surprise a couple of you, but I'm going to share that later. But right now, what I want to talk about is this hopium that's been dripped by Eleanor Terrett and also backed up by BlockWorks and all that stuff. Why do people care so much? Well, we have this whole digital asset stockpile that really hasn't been clarified yet. The Bitcoin Strategic Reserve ended up being a complete nothing burger. While Trump has said, okay, we're not going to sell any Bitcoin that's in our possession, they haven't pledged to buy any Bitcoin. And it makes sense because how else are you going to buy Bitcoin as a government? You're going to have to use taxpayer money. So maybe they're finding ways to start buying crypto or start buying Bitcoin. I don't know. And honestly, why would you make an announcement like that at a crypto conference? I feel like he's just going to go up on screen and say, is that what they say? You got to hodl. You got to make sure that, Bitcoin only, a Bitcoin maxi. Is that what you guys are? Is that how it goes? So complete lack of conviction, especially in that signing the BSR, or signing that executive order a while ago. So I am not looking at this event as like super duper thrilling and exciting. I am unfortunately of the belief that this is another buy the rumors, sell the news event. And that's how I think the market is reacting. The excitement, the anticipation of this event has caused BTC to pump significantly. There was a lot of excitement about this right in the middle of the night for me, but you can see BTC going all the way up to 87K, which is incredible. Now, just a couple of days ago, there was this hyper-liquid whale that had a liquidation price at like 85 something or other, and people were not able to liquidate the whale, buying as much Bitcoin as they want to. The real thing that moves markets is news, or rather, rumors. Well, news for sure moves it to the downside, but rumors usually pumps markets a lot. And to be honest, I'm looking at Friday, March 20th's announcement as a lot of rumors. I don't really think anything's going to happen. Why would he make an executive order, sign an executive order at a crypto conference? That doesn't make sense. But how can we trade this? Well, the way I've been trading this entire market ever since this garbage happened is even on this pump, I am protecting profit. That means if I'm in profit, I'm going to be putting a stop loss in the green zone, in the profit zone. I'm going to be taking profit on the way up, not buying and hoping that this one is finally the bottom. No. I am making sure that I am taking every possible safety measure to protect my portfolio at all costs. This is how I learned to trade. I started trading in a bear market, and I don't think we're in a bear market. I really don't. The conditions are very bearish, but they're starting to flip bullish. Now, when we look at a couple of other indicators, and it's important to look at multiple things, not just one indicator. Yes, we have TBT bullish divergence signals, which are good bottoming signals for Bitcoin. But daily RSI has been moving up a lot. We were massively oversold on the 26th of February at a level of 12.85, which is incredible. We've since seen Bitcoin go up, making higher lows. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to be realistic with you and say that this is quite the incline. And if there turns out to be some more bad news, RSI is going to break this support and it'll probably come down here to about the 30s and also dash a lot of hopes and dreams, curb stomp style, unfortunately. So if Bitcoin is going to be bullish from whatever this announcement is going to be, it really needs to push up a lot higher. But I don't think it's going to be going as high as you think, no matter what the news is. But this last impulse has been really good. The other thing I'm watching is on balance volume. Just as a reminder, on balance volume shows us cumulative volume based off of how much volume is being traded, bought or sold, and the direction of the candle. So on a big green candle like this, let me change the aspect of this so we can see a bit better. On a big green candle with lots of volume, we're going to see a sharp uptick in on balance volume. Vice versa, when we see a big red candle with lots of selling or consecutively red candles like these 5 in a row, we're going to see on balance volume drop a lot. So one thing that I have applied to my on balance volume indicator is an OBV-based moving average. I'm using a smooth moving average, and it's using a length of 21. This is just an arbitrary level. It's not like there's this magic reason why I like using 21. It just happens to work well. And the thing that I like about this the most is that on balance volume works extremely well for helping us to figure out if there's a strong trend intact or not. Very similar to how the TBO works, except it's a lot less complicated, admittedly. So one thing that's really obvious to me is that the moving average for on balance volume has been falling ever since the middle of February. But with the given uptick that we've had ever since the 11th of March, we're starting to see signs of a possible bottom for on balance volume, which means that our moving average is starting to flatten out. And what will happen next, if we close green and continue to, we're going to see this start to move up higher, similar to what we saw back over here in late January. Unfortunately, we all know what happened since then. But this is actually a good sign. This isn't the sign that we need. The sign that we need is a lot of bullish volume that's uninterrupted buying going higher and higher and higher. That's what we really need. But that's not what the market is ever going to give us, at least not in these conditions. So long story short, while I am short-term bullish as far as what's happening, I do think that it makes sense to see a pullback and see a lot more sideways chop. Now, another reason why I think that is if we look at the total market cap, we have seen some significant growth and changes here. on-balance volume, for example, has moved above its white moving average, but it's still angling lower. We're not actually seeing on-balance volume increase rather than moving average, so there's no bullish trend intact. We have seen, again, a very similar reaction here for daily RSI on total, very similar to BTC. And similar to BTC, we have overhead resistance that has yet to be tested. So there are similar signs and patterns and signals that are happening. And also, total has pushed up inside of the TBO Cloud, signaling bullish consolidation. Now, it really needs to stay inside of the cloud to remain bullishly consolidating, which means basically bullish chop, as in we were bearish and now we're going to be transitioning to bull. And it's only going to be bullish when the price is above the slow line, which currently is, this is total, but currently it's at 3.07 trillion. So that's an increase of 12%. Not difficult to do, given the fact that we had some super duper hopium and we moved up 11% in a day, but anything that moves up too high too fast is going to dump, typically. Vice versa, anything that dumps too low too fast is going to have a reverse pump or some sort of correction. But this gradual movement up is great for the total crypto market cap. The main thing we need to watch out for is how is it going to behave when it reaches this first line of overhead resistance. Now, not everyone uses resistance fans like I do, and it's honestly, I'm pretty sure it's my own creation, but I could be wrong. I haven't seen anyone else use this idea, this concept, but essentially they're successively lower resistance lines that help to give us early targets, and it works extremely well, especially in crypto. So I really am thinking that we're going to see a lot more chop, but eventually we are going to move above this level. So while I am short-term bullish and bearish, more like bearish, but short-term neutral, I am looking at this going, this really does feel like a bottom. Looking at Bitcoin, this really does feel like a bottom here at 77K. Could we go lower? Yeah, of course we can go lower, because we're not confirmed bullish until BTC is really above 92, which would be above the daily TBO Cloud. But even then, if that happens in one day, it's going to be a lot of this. So just get used to a lot of jagged moves, okay? Might want to put on your Alanis Morissette CD and listen to Jagged Little Pill. I never listened to her. I didn't really like it. It's okay. Why do they play that stuff at school dances in middle school? I don't know. And this is going to be aging me right now. It's okay. Now, one thing that I'm looking at that I'm going, very interesting, I like this a lot, is stablecoin dominance. Now, how is stablecoin dominance related at all to BTC? How is it related to the total market cap? Well, before I tell you that, I need to remind you of something. Down in the description below of this video, you're going to see a lot of amazing links that you can click to sign up for exchanges. CoinCatch and 2Bit are both KYC-free exchanges, meaning that you don't have to give up your information and you can withdraw up to like $50,000 per day, which is pretty amazing. And of course, there's Bybit. I personally use Bybit. I love using it for spot and for futures trading. And we actually have special links that you can click here. If you click on this and you go over to Bybit, you can sign up and get a bonus whenever you use the link. And the link is already filled in for you. So you just have to fill in your deets, deposit some money, and start trading and creating some volume to take advantage of some of those discounts. But there are other deals that are on the Coin Bureau website. If we click here, it'll bring us to the Coin Bureau homepage or the website. And if we go to the deals section, there's a lot of stuff, not just the Coin Bureau Club, but there are other exchanges. And there is actually a 10% off coupon for the 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom course available through my business, The Better Traders, where we've taught, I'm going to say over 10,000 people since 2019. We're not messing around. This is what I do. So if you go over here, hit the buy now button, you'll be taken to the, site can't be reached. That's so fun. But usually when you click on that, it lands and it's just fine. But you can get 10% off of the 15 Minutes course. Definitely going to have to take a look at that. Good grief. Well, I just talked myself into a little bit of a hole. We're just going to transition like it never happened. So looking at stablecoin dominance. What does stablecoin dominance have to do with the price of BTC and the total market cap? Well, when we see an increase in stablecoin dominance, like we've watched from late January all the way up to the current day of 50%, this means that there is way more fear in the cryptocurrency markets. And if there's more fear in crypto, then that means that we're seeing a lot of selling, typically. But vice versa, when we see stablecoin dominance is dropping like a stone, then that means less of the market is dominated by stablecoins, meaning that those stablecoins are being used to purchase cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, yada, yada, yada. So we've been seeing a steady uptrend really ever since the end of January. But you'll notice that the price of stablecoin dominance has reached this quote-unquote rejection zone. This is not an official zone like the friend zone, but I've noticed a pattern here. When we see stablecoin dominance get up to this range from about 7.8% all the way up to about 8.4%, we typically start to see signs of weakness, or we see stablecoin dominance, the price, get weak and get rejected from here. Now, there's something else that I'm looking at as well. We saw yesterday, because of the bullish pump, because of the hopium that was injected into the market, stablecoin dominance dropped about 4%, which is great. But more importantly, it closed inside of the daily TBO Cloud. This is a sign of weakness, which is great. We want to see weakness on this, again, because when we see stablecoin dominance falling, this is a great sign that we should see the market recover and do a lot better. But there's something else. We actually have a support line here. Again, this is another, and let me remove and hide that TBO and TPT divergence. We have a support line here. First, there's this main line that we're going to watch. Then this is the second line. This is the resistance fan that I was telling you about before. So looking at this, we've had one test, two pierces, another test, and a pierce. So the more times we see any support or resistance level tested, which means that the line goes right at it or just above it, but does not go beyond it, or a pierce, which is when the price goes beyond that line, that's a sign of weakness. And we see lots of pierces, just like taking an axe to a door, reminiscent of The Shining. You're eventually going to get your way through that door to enjoy your wonderful horror movie. Okay, so sometimes I think I need a teleprompter with actual script, but it would be too confusing. The good news, guys. The good news is that stablecoin dominance is showing signs of weakness, which is a good thing. We want this chart to dump, because when it dumps, the crypto market pumps. You get what I'm saying? It's a good thing. We're also seeing complementary signals here with daily RSI. And by the way, a lot of what I'm sharing right here, I have been sharing snippets of this in the Coin Bureau Discord server. Again, the link for that is down in the description below. I've been watching as the price, quote unquote, of stablecoin dominance has been increasing, but we've seen significantly, or not significantly, but successively lower highs on daily RSI, indicating weakness. We can see the price go up, but RSI fall down, and that's still a sign of weakness. I know it's going to mess with your head, but that's how RSI works. I actually have a video that talks about how to use RSI. I'm going to make sure to remember to have it at the end of this video, so you can watch it next. It's going to help you out immensely, okay? But we really want to see stablecoin dominance fall. So we have some good teases of information. We have Bitcoin closing inside of the daily cloud. We have the total market cap doing the same thing. Stablecoin dominance closing inside the cloud as well. Again, this is like a reverse signal. But there's one more we have to be mindful of. Bitcoin volatility, BVOL7D. Like I shared in another video, when we got up to our rejection zone, which is about approximately from 8.7 all the way up to 12, when we get up to this level, typically we're going to see Bitcoin calm down, which allows the altcoin market, mid caps and low caps, to breathe and ideally recover. Now, we haven't seen a massive market-wide recovery like I was hoping, but the main thing I'm concerned about right now is the fact that RSI is just super oversold without BVOL7D falling into our bounce zone. Now, I'm a little bit conflicted because I don't want to see BVOL7D fall in here, because when it falls in here, that means that there's a higher probability of explosive price action in either direction, but usually it's bearish, unfortunately. So we don't want to see it fall back down here to see a bearish move. But the chances of some sort of increase in volatility over the next 24 hours is very high, given the fact that RSI is super duper oversold. So we have this event that's happening March 20th, Friday. My today, your tomorrow. We see all these good signs from BTC and Total, and also stablecoin dominance losing some ground. But we're also seeing some hints that we could see an increase in volatility, which I'm fully expecting. Now, for the part you all been waiting for, what's my real short-term target? Well, my real short-term target for BTC is actually just a little bit further away. I am looking at the TBO the fast line, right here at about $88,000. This is my short-term target. I know you're hoping for something a lot higher. This is really it. And if things get really good, maybe we'll move up to like 93, 92K. But honestly, this has been my short-term target for the last 2 weeks. Why? It's a great question. I'm so glad you asked me as you're watching this video. Let's try it all together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Why, Aaron? Yeah, I should get a bouncing ball. I never thought about that. That'd be really weird. So we got these blue TBO closed longs right here. Whenever we get these are letting us know that the bullish trend could be changing soon. Therefore, it's a good idea to take some profits off the table. But when these happen, more importantly, usually it's when the price is going to be overextended or falling away from the TBO fast line, the thick green line right here. Just like right here on the week of the 1st of July, just like here on the week of July 29th, 2024, just like here in August. We've had these 3 different times, and what happens every single time after we get these oversold dumps, like right here, like right here, and like right here, is that typically within 1 to 2 weeks, we're going to see an increase, typically with a target of, that's right, the TBO fast line. We got that right there. This one had an increase, or rather a return of 19% back up to the mean or the average, and 13%. Now, you'll also notice that all 3 of these times, the price didn't just hit this and fall lower. It actually hit it and went up a lot more, which is why I'm saying that it's fully possible to see the price of BTC not just stop at another like 4% away, but it could overshoot it, maybe even going up to 95,000. But believe me right now, I am not expecting some exuberant move for this week, even this month, to go all the way up to $106,000. There are too many levels of resistance ahead of BTC. Too many things that have to be checked off that bullish list in order for Bitcoin to be truly bullish. Now, is there some good news around the corner? Absolutely. I'm excited for this idea of something possibly good happening with President Trump signing something, maybe saying something good, as long as it doesn't tank the market. But honestly, at this point, the market's still really shaky and we're just coming out of some super bearish vibes. So do not be surprised if Bitcoin actually dumps tomorrow, which is why you should be securing profits. Now, again, I want to remind you, there is way more to using RSI than you actually understand. And I simplify it and break it down in a video. I think it's under 15 minutes. It's going to show up right here. I want you to watch this video next because you're going to learn how to use RSI like a pro. So until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.